December 10th, it's lit. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I'm in a good mood, and I'm preparing for a busy weekend, and I want to talk about that. Before I get started, I gotta say, rest in peace and condolences to all the lives that were affected. There was an Oakland warehouse fire. At least 36 people were pronounced dead, and their families were notified and whatnot. That's bad news, you know what I'm saying, and it hurts my heart because that's in my backyard. I'll be in Oakland later today. I'll be doing a live stream with Troy King, getting some interviews, and again, rest in peace to those affected. God bless the dead. Now, I gotta talk about December 10th. Very busy week. It's shout out to all the support, man. I hit over a couple days ago. I hit 50,000 followers on the Instagram, so you guys are really showing love to the brand. When I first started, I never knew it was going to be any of this. 50,000 followers. $50 million? What you think, you got Chelsea Carter? Chelsea Clinton? So, I just appreciate all the love, man. Like, I just started from the bottom, now we hit, December 10th. I just posted this 3 minutes ago. And this is just a preview of all the fights, and I kind of want to talk about them. I'm going to be doing some Ego Fight Club, which is my new series. So again, make sure you guys subscribe. I got a lot of stuff coming. The Fight Club is kind of like a Ego prediction league where you guys leave your thoughts, predictions, and then after the fight, you can go see what people were saying and things like that. I want you to hit me as hard as you can. December 10th, man, so many great fights. I don't even know what I'm looking forward to the most. I want to see it. And boxing needed this. For a minute, I was worried about would we close the year strong, because there were a lot of fights that fell through. Fights like Danny Jacobs and Hello Guy Max. That fight was supposed to happen December 10th. Canelo was supposed to fight December 10th. He got injured fighting Liam Smith, a fight no one wanted to see. And also fights like Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua fell apart last minute. So I was like, man. But we got a ton of fights. Also, Bermane Stiverne versus Alexander Povetkin. I got to check the date, but I know it's in December in Russia. So that's another fight. But December 10th is lit, man. And there's a lot of great fights. And I kind of want to run down them real quick. And just so you guys know, because boxing needs all the exposure that it can get. You know what I mean? So that's what I do on my channel. Speak from the heart, I'm real. And I try to give as much light to boxing, especially when it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Now, Joseph Parker, Andy Ruiz. I did a Boxing Ego First Look. Check that out. Tell the tape series that I have on the channel. This is a good heavyweight fight. Bob Arum, who manages Andy Ruiz, I think he's also doing some kind of promotional pack with Joseph Parker in America to get him some exposure. But he went as far as saying the winner of this fight he believes is the best heavyweight. I don't know if I'll go that far, because you still got Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Klitschko. So I don't know if I would say that. But the winner of this fight will, one, be a champion, and two, definitely earn it. If they win it fair and square and stuff, that they're definitely a threat to anybody in the division. You know what I mean? Both guys got power. Andy Ruiz. I'm thinking of James Toney and shit. But Andy Ruiz, don't let his body fool you. He's the type that he has power, and he can move a lot better than it looks like he would be able to. He has faster hands than you would think, so you can't sleep on him. Joseph Parker, I told you guys in the first look, I met a guy, a heavyweight in Vegas when I was at the Kovalev Award Week, and he told me he spars with Joseph Parker. He said his power is the real deal. He says dude can crack, and the guy's a professional fighter, right? I'm looking forward to it. It's for the WBO strap. Also, you have main event Abner Mares, Jesus Cuellar. Very dangerous fight, in my opinion, for Abner Mares. He's been knocked out by Johnny Gonzalez. Now he's fighting another puncher, this one from Argentina. And he used to train with Robert Garcia, so that's an interesting backstory. Abner Mares has been with Robert Garcia in Oxnard or wherever for about a year now. So it's the Roberto Garcia new fighter going against his old fighter that he helped become a champion, or help make into a champion. You know what I mean? When Jesus Cuellar got the WBA belt, featherweight belt that he has, it was under the tutelage of Robert Garcia. So very interesting backstory. It's taking place at the USC Gallon Center in Los Angeles. And then on the same card, you have Julian J. Rock Williams, who he's received a lot of praise. He's been calling out dudes and trying to get those big fights. Now he has one against a champion. Jermall Charlo fought Austin Trout. Thought he looked good in his fight with K9 Bunders, Cornelius Bunders. He like really demolished him. At one point, I was afraid this fight wouldn't happen because he said he was moving up to 160. He couldn't really make the weight. He has a big frame, but he decided to stay and take on his mandatory. I think that was the right decision to me, just because people would have been like, oh, you just left because you didn't want to fight J-Rock. So pick 'em fights here. You know what I mean? This whole card, PBC, Richard Schaefer, he's back in the boxing game. He's promoting this event. So shout out to Ringstar Sports and Richard Schaefer. Hell of a card. And then in Omaha, Terrence Crawford is fighting at the CenturyLink Center or Theater, whatever it's called, CenturyLink. And he's fighting against the Gladiator, coming off a good win versus Ruslan Provodnikov, the Siberian Rocky. And interesting thing, Charlo-Wil, he's a guy you can't really count out. He's actually bigger than Terrence Crawford. You look at his hands, you look at his height, stuff like that. He has power. We know he doesn't have more technique, but it's boxing. You know what I'm saying? Stranger things have happened. I've seen people, like most people that I seen, a lot of people picked Lomachenko, but a lot of people thought it was gonna be an epic war, and that Lomachenko was gonna have to bite down. Some people were saying, oh, Lomachenko wins, split decision, he's gonna get knocked down. And then when it happened, I don't know anybody, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but you show me a link to the YouTuber or the channel that picked Axeman Walters via quitting, via Victor Ortiz or whatever, where he said he was going to quit. So, you know what I mean? Things have happened in boxing. Sometimes unorthodox, or this is just my opinion. I feel like a guy who's like very fundamentally and technically sound, usually there's a couple things that beat that, and that's somebody who's more technical, like Victor Postal versus Terrence Crawford. That was an example of that. They both have fundamentals down. They both have technique, but Crawford won because he's more technically sound. He can do more. He's ambidextrous. He can switch to southpaw. He's slicker, and I think he has better foot movement, better like just ring IQ, and he just has more tools. So he can switch up. He can fight. He can box. I would say with that style, you would say Victor Postal is more one-dimensional. He's just a very good boxer, right? Crawford can brawl when he needs to. He can show you the dog in him. He can be slick in there and not get hit as much and move with his legs. He showed you that in the Postal fight. So that's one thing that could beat a technical fighter, somebody who's just overall sharper. I think Canelo's a very good boxer puncher, and he has fast hands, slow feet, fast hands. But he has a good, especially for his age, ring IQ. But you put him in there with Floyd Mayweather, that's different. That's a different league. Floyd's just smarter, much smarter than Canelo, and that's what we've seen. So that's one thing that could beat a fundamentally sound technical fighter. Same thing with Floyd Mayweather versus Juan Manuel Marquez. Great counterpunchers. Marquez is a great counterpuncher, but Floyd is just better. He's just more of a souped up model, you know what I mean? Faster and have athleticism, so it has that extra edge. Or you could just like throw fundamentals out of the window and just be like a banger, or somebody who throws caution to the wind, who has the willpower to win, the heart to win, the power to win, stuff like that. And I think that was evident in the fight with Marcos Maidana and Adrian Broner. No one really said that like Maidana has faster hands, more athleticism, or even more technique or better combination punching and this and that. You know what I'm saying? But he's rugged. He knows he's a veteran. He knows how to get his hands dirty. He's willing to go out on his shield, and he has power and size. So that's kind of what this reminds me of, Crawford-Molina. I think this could be a banger just based on the style matchup. You know what I'm saying? You look at Kovalev Ward and fights like that where you have a nefarious puncher and then a really good boxer. So it usually makes a good style matchup. Also, you have Chavez Jr. He's fighting Dominic Brich. That's happening in Mexico. From what I've seen, Chavez Jr. looks like he's in good shape, really good shape. And he's going to need to be. So I'm anxious. I'm not anxious, but I want to see how he does, because there's maybe he could fight Gennady Golovkin finally, or a fight like that, or Fonfara rematch. I don't know. So I think people are always going to pay attention just because he's linked to his dad's name and stuff like that. So there's other fights out if he looks good, but he can't look like he looked against Marco Reyes, because I don't think he looked good, even though he had a hand injury or whatever. Lomachenko had a hand injury on one of his fights on the Pacquiao undercard, and he didn't look like that. So just I'll check that fight out. And finally, Manchester, you have the Matchroom card headlined by Eric Molina taking on IBF champion Anthony Joshua. And I'm looking forward to that fight. It's a barometer style fight. Eric Molina currently this year has sparred with Deontay Wilder after giving him a game fight in his backyard. Eric Molina is a road warrior. He fought Deontay Wilder, his first title defense when he became champion, in Alabama, where Wilder's from. He knocked out Thomas Adamek in Poland, and he's a Polish fighter, and he's a veteran. So Eric Molina, he's no stranger to traveling, so him being in the UK, I don't think he'll be shook by that. It's just going to kind of boil down to who lands the first big shot and, who has a better game plan and stuff like that, and who wants it more. But this is a good fight. And Anthony Joshua, he's still under 20 fights, so all these guys with power that are, right around his size, they could pose some problems to him. He's not invincible. He's diesel and he's in shape and stuff, but he's not going to be invincible. He's still learning, even though he's a gold medalist. Some people thought he lost that fight in the Olympics. He's still learning on the job, and he's a new champion, a fairly new champion. So Eric Molina could provide to be one of his toughest tests. I've seen him hurt in the Dillian White fight. Dillian White caught him and hurt him. Sometimes that aggression can work against you. That might have been a little bit different because him and Dillian White, there was some trash talking. Dillian White called him a scumbag, and they didn't really like each other, it seemed like. So maybe he was fighting more off emotion. Maybe he'll be more calculated. But sometimes that aggression, like i.e. Pacquiao Marquez 4, could work against you because you get your guy hurt. That's when they're dangerous. Ask Eric Molina. He knows that because he heard Chris Arreola got too aggressive and got knocked out in that same round. So it'll be interesting. I think it's an interesting fight. And then you also have another rivalry type of fight. Dillian White, who fought Anthony Joshua. He's fighting Derek Chisora, who's a veteran. They've been trash talking each other, bad blood. The gloves are off, special and stuff like that. They're having to be separated. So it'll be an interesting, fun fight. I think both guys are going to fight on emotion, trying to make good on their promises and what they said before. And then also on that card, you have Luis King Kong Ortiz. Didn't look good versus Malik Scott, but he's already back in action versus David Allen. That was added and officially announced to the card. So, December 10th is cracking, and I'm looking forward to it. Let me know which fight you're most looking forward to. I'm going to put out some Ego fight clubs on some of these fights, and you guys let me know your fight predictions, or you can let me know in this particular video. December 10th, it's lit. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off.